Welcome to Remote Learning and Physical Education, engaging students in an online environment. I'm Mike Morris. A little bit about me. I'm Mike. I'm on Twitter at Mike Morris PE. I'm a family man. This is my daughter Layla and my girlfriend Alexis. We have two dogs. Well, we have two dogs. The one she's holding up here, her name is Maisie. As you can see, they have a love-hate relationship. Um, this gorgeous dog down here we just got. I agreed to that one. And then the cat, we also have a cat that I didn't agree to, but it's just one of those things that, you had to bite the pill and swallow. Um, I'm an open national trainer. Of course, I'm a teacher and a coach. I coach middle school basketball. I also teach health online at an early college. I'm a videographer and I'm also a phys ed innovator. And my website is www.mikemorrispe.com. This is a disclaimer. By no means, form, way, or fashion am I a remote learning expert. As a matter of fact, when back in last March, when we found out that we were going to be out of school, I was ecstatic. You couldn't, I mean, I was so excited about working from home. It was right on time. It was the break that I needed. Up until they told me that we had to still provide instruction for our students while they were at home. I was like, what? I began to scratch my head and I just was like, how in the world am I going to provide instruction for these kids at home? They don't have any equipment. What am I going to do? So I began to think, and I wanted to keep the end in mind. I wanted to make this meaningful for my students. So I started to think, how am I going to help them achieve this goal of physical literacy while they are at home? How am I going to keep them motivated to move? I want to keep them confident to move and still provide them with the skills and the practice that they need in order to be physically literate individuals. So, how can I help? I've asked myself, how can I help students achieve this from behind a computer screen? Well, the first thing I wanted to do was provide them with opportunities to be physically active at home. And then I wanted to make sure that they have a positive experience, which I think is the most important part when you are talking about remote learning. I want them to have a good experience and have fun so they will want to come back. So, what's happening today? Today, we're just going to explore some extremely creative ways to engage students in virtual learning, aka PE at home. So, in my class, a typical Zoom class looks like this. We have a 30-minute time frame. I begin with the expectations. We then do a warm up or fitness activity. I then engage students in a skill based activity or challenge, followed by a fun activity, and then we end with the mindful minute or mindfulness activity. So, some helpful tips for engaging students in remote learning. The first thing that you want to do is use equipment that all students have. So, um, I tend to choose things that are untraditional, household items, things that many students have in their house, or things that they are able to modify and find something that looks like this object. So, a couple of things that I have used are canned foods, um, sock balls. We use sock balls a lot, pillows, stuffed animals, toys, baskets, water bottles, anything that they have around their house, cups, because we want all students to participate. The next tip for engaging students in remote learning is, to make it engaging. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to smile. So, sometimes I dress up, just trying to get them to interact and laugh because laughter is good for you. And this is actually a couple of photos from a lesson where we talked about laughter. And a few more helpful tips for engaging students in remote learning are to allow time for student feedback, even if it's in the chat. Give them an opportunity to talk. Many students are at home, and you are the only interaction that they got. And this is the only time that they are allowed to see their friends. So giving them that time to talk and provide feedback, even if it's in the chat, is very important. Offering students a choice. So if giving them an option and allowing them to modify or tell how they did things can be very powerful. And the most important tip for engaging students in remote learning is to keep them moving as much as possible. We start right from the beginning. Try to get them moving as soon as they get on. And the last tip for engaging students in remote learning is to make things competitive because kids love points. So a lot of times they are either competing against me to try to beat my score in an activity, or we sometimes compete against each other. And oftentimes when we finish a challenge or activity, I ask them to type their score in the chat box because kids love competition and they also love points. So when we start our Zoom meeting, the first thing that we do is, we go over our rules and expectations. So I only have 4 rules. My first rule is to follow directions. That's very important, as you may know. The second rule is while coach is talking, you should be listening. Your computer stays on mute. So unless they have a question or want to talk, then they are to raise their hand and type it in the chat box. And the last rule is to try your best and have fun. That is the most important rule. Try your best and have fun. Um, Prior to class starting, I um, send out my Zoom link every week. It's the same link every week. I also remind students what time class starts, and I tell them what they will need so that they are prepared for class. Okay. Um, I usually drop a photo. I put this in Class Dojo, Seesaw, as well as Google Classroom. As soon as Zoom starts, I got this idea from Kevin Tiller. So as soon as Zoom starts, I start Zoom about 5 minutes earlier than the start time. So when I start the meeting, of course, kids are popping in, and it's a reminder of what they will need for the class today. And it's also a video that I just allowed to play. It's usually a physical activity video or just something I think that they would like, just to keep them engaged and that they're just not sitting there all awkwardly waiting. I also sometimes use this time to conversate with students, ask them how they are doing, um, which is very important. So this is the waiting room. So as I said today, I'm just gonna share with you some engaging activities to keep your students engaged in remote learning. So we're gonna start off with a couple of creative fitness activities. The first activity I got from a teacher named Julie Braden. She's on Twitter at Miss Braden PE. It's called Guess the Animals. So what usually happens is I let them listen to the animal sound very carefully. For 30 seconds, they act out the animal that they think they're hearing. And after 30 seconds, I allow them a chance to type in the chat box or talk and have an opportunity to guess, to see who guesses the animal correctly. So here is an example, a couple of examples of the animals. So now it's time to guess. What animal or sound did you hear? What animal or sound did you guys hear? Type it in the chat box. Very good. It's a dolphin. All right. Next animal. Oh, yeah. So this next activity is called Look for the Good. And many of my videos that I create for my students, I try to use videos of me so that they can see me doing it. And I format these videos in the way of a challenge so that they are trying to beat my score. Okay, so each of my videos pretty much have the same format, same intro, equipment needed, instructions, and I try to make these videos fairly short, um, just because I want to keep them engaged and I want to have them doing a bunch of different things. Some videos are longer than others, but for challenges, I try to make them short because I don't want them sitting and watching me too long. I want them to be participating. So I'm going to share this video with you so you can kind of get an idea of how these videos work. And this activity is called Look for the Good. And it's actually an activity from Open Phys Ed Field Day. But I'm just going to let you see it. All right, so students have 1 minute. They have 1 minute to find 4 items. Each of the items start with one of these 4 letters. So they have to find the items. And every time they find an item, they must bring it back to their starting point. You can only find one item for each letter. For each item they find, they receive 1 point. So they had to find something with the L, bring it back, something with the F, bring it back, something with the T, bring it back, and something that begins with G. And they only have 1 minute to find 4 items. Okay, so watch me first. Okay, so I found something that begins with L, something that begins with F, something that begins with T, and I did not find anything that begins with G. So I only scored 3 points. Okay, so afterwards, now it's your turn. Can you beat my score of 3 points? When you hear the horn, you may begin. And time is up. Okay. So that's pretty much the format. That's pretty much the format of how these videos go. So that was Look for the Good. Now I'm going to share with you a couple of other my videos, but we're not going to watch them, but I'm just going to explain to you the objective of each activity. So these creative fitness activities. The next activity is bottle flip chaos. Students have 1 minute. They complete 3 jumping jacks, and after each 3 jumping jacks, they earn 2 bottle flips. So you have 1 minute to score as many points as you can. Every time they land the bottle upright, they get a point. So again, 3 jumping jacks, flip the bottle twice. How many points do you score in 1 minute? Bottle flip chaos. Next activity is called the plank tap challenge. Once again, students have 1 minute. They do 3 jumping jacks, and then they get in the plank position and touch all 3 shoe boxes. It's 5 jumping jacks, I'm sorry. 5 jumping jacks. Get in the plank position, touch all 3 boxes with both hands to score a point. How many points can you score in 1 minute? On the next activity is called the scooter pillow race. So students have 1 minute and they create 2 lines that are 10 feet apart or 10 steps apart. Okay, they use their pillow as a scooter to scoot down to one line and score a point. So they scoot down to the line and they score a point. And this one is a true burner. Really burns your legs. Scooter pillow race. This next activity was inspired by Justin Cahill. He's on Twitter at JustyBubPE. This is the teddy bear transport. Students use a teddy bear from their home, and once again, they have 2 lines that are 10 feet apart, and they hop, keeping the teddy bear in between their feet down to the line to score a point, and they go back to the other line to score a point. How many points can you score in 1 minute? How many points can you score in 1 minute? Um, Here's another creative fitness activity. It's called Piece of Paper Fitness by Kevin Tiller. He is on Twitter at PhysEd Review. He has an awesome YouTube channel. So he pretty much demonstrates several fitness exercises using a piece of paper. And as you know, a piece of paper is something that many kids have in their home. So that's one reason I like this activity. The next creative fitness activity is called Canned Food Fitness. And this is actually an open phys ed activity called Invisible Dumbbell Fitness. But I thought it would be cool for, students to use canned foods. And on each exercise, it's about 13 exercises using canned foods. So for each exercise, they do it for about 30 to 45 seconds. And it also is equipped with photos of what muscles they are working out. So this is Canned Food Fitness. So moving right along to fitness-based activities that you can weave into any remote lesson. Okay, so this is fitness-based activities that go with any lesson that you are teaching. Red light, green light. This is a 5-minute running activity where students run in place when they see a green light and they freeze when they see a red light. And when they hear green light and they run in place. When they hear red light, they freeze. Red light, green light. Would you rather fitness? This goes back to giving students that choice. So which exercise would you rather do? Or would you rather giving students that choice, or also um allowing them to share what they like through exercise. So would you rather, and use a timer. This is a activity me and myself and from me myself and Brandon Herwick. So would you rather do the movement that I'm doing, or would you rather do the movement that Brandon's doing? Would you rather do the dance that Brandon in the penguin outfit is doing, or would you rather do the movement that Mike in the Santa Claus outfit is doing? Would you rather do the dance that Mike in the Black Panther outfit is doing? Or would you rather do the movement that Brandon in the Space Jam outfit is doing? Here's another form of would you rather. Allowing students to decide which exercise they do based on their favorite food or toy. So if you like apples, you do the exercise that Brandon is doing here. If you like oranges, you do the exercise that Mike is doing. Watermelon, Brandon, and grapes, exercise that Mike is doing. Yes or no body language. This is an activity from Open Phys Ed that I created a video for, and students do exercises based on the question that's asked. So a couple of examples: is eating a bag of chips every day good for you? They choose yes or no by running in place or doing jumping jacks. Running in place or doing jumping jacks. Running in place or doing jumping jacks. Yes or no body language. This is an activity that can be found on my website. It is called homophone fitness. So students choose the correct homophone that completes each sentence to decide which exercise to perform. So I would put a question on the screen, and students will choose the correct answer um, and do the correct exercise to select their answer. So one example, the blank of the school is retiring this year. Is it A, principal, Principal, or B, Principle? Another example, my mom said I could play outside for one more. Is it hour, Hour? They would complete the exercise underneath, or our OUR. Question number 3, wear shades if you were playing in the blank. Is it sun, SUN, or son, SON? So they choose the correct homophone that completes each sentence. And I usually slap a timer up there for them. And these timers come from Ben Perillo, his YouTube channel. He has several timers. All right, so moving right along to some skill-based remote learning activities and challenges. Okay, so we're working on those skills. We're tapping into those standards now. The first activity, define gravity. And once again, students get 1 minute to complete these challenges. So they have to keep 2 plastic bags in the air using one hand. For 1 minute. This is an activity that I created called Upright. So students underhand throw or roll, if they whichever they prefer, to make the basket land upright. If the basket lands upright without the sock ball inside, they receive 1 point. But if the basket lands upright and the ball stays inside, just like at the bottom, they receive 3 points. So they're trying to see how many points they can score in 1 minute. And the thing that I like about these activities is if they're doing it alone, they'll try to keep going and try to beat this activity. And they're also doing a lot of running back and forth in 1 minute. Here's a rolling activity, water bottle bowling. Simple. All they need is a water bottle and a sock ball. And students are rolling to knock down the water bottle and score a point. How many points can you score in 1 minute? How many points can you score in 1 minute? This next activity is called foot trap soccer. So this is an activity from Open Phys Ed. Students will need 2 books, and they will dribble using the insides of our feet, just like in soccer, keeping our ball close, and trap their sock ball on top of the book to score a point. How many points can you score in 1 minute? So they're working on those soccer skills. Soccer basketball, another soccer activity from Open Phys Ed. Students have 2 lines, one of them from 5 feet, no, one of them from 7 feet and the other from 10 feet. And they kick into a basket to score points from each line. So if they make it from the further line, they receive 3 points. If they make it from the line that's closer, they receive 2 points. How many points can you score in 1 minute? Soccer, basketball. The next activity is a volleying activity. They make a balloon out of a grocery bag. So they are keeping their balloon in the air using their hands for 1 minute. And if you keep your balloon in the air for 1 minute, you complete the challenge. It's called Keep It Up. So they're just striking their balloon in the air for 1 minute and keeping it up. Overhand throwing. This activity is called target practice. So students are working on their overhand throw. They throw to knock a water bottle off of a basket. Target practice. You have 1 minute to score as many points as you can. This next activity is working on paddle skills. So this is called the pancake flipper. So students do a number of tricks. Right hand, flip it up and catch it, flipping a sock that's made like a beanbag. They make their paddle out of a paper plate and a spatula and some tape. And they just make a beanbag out of their sock. And they do tricks. Right hand, flip it up with your left hand, under the leg, behind the back. And then at the end, they try to see how many times they can flick their beanbag over their head or their sock bag over their head and catch it on their paddle to score a point. So they practice the skill and then they complete the challenge. And this is also an open phys ed activity. Another paddle activity, striking. This is called birdie in a cage. So they use that same spatula paper plate paddle that they made and they strike or serve their sock ball into the basket to score a point. How many points can you score in 1 minute? Working on that underhand serving, used in pickle mitten or, yeah. Homemade frisbee fling. Students have two lines, one of them 7 feet away, the other 10 feet away, and they have made a homemade frisbee out of 2 paper plates and 1 sock. They put the sock inside of the paper plates to give the frisbee some weight, and they just tape it. So you fling your frisbee into the basket that's on a chair to score a point. You score points from the 2-pointer and from the 3-point line. So homemade frisbee fling. So these are backdoor basketball challenges. Okay. You create a basketball hoop by using a box and placing it on the back of your door. You leave one of the flaps on the box of the box up. And this is the 3-point shootout. So students are to shoot from a line that's about 10 steps away from the door or 7 steps away from the door, depending on their ceiling. And they try to score as many points as they can in 1 minute. And they get really into this one. I also have a few more videos on my channel that I chose just from backdoor basketball that are just really creative and give students a chance, because we all know students love basketball. So so after we do our skill-based activity that we do for the day, our final fun is usually find that thing. And I got this idea from Kevin Tiller. He has a video of how he teaches his Google Classroom classes. So find that thing. It just gets kids up and moving. So their job is to go find the object in their house. And sometimes I have to choose items and just say, we'll change it up to play find that thing or touch that thing. So they'll have to go to a object in their house and they will either touch it or bring it back. But this one is find that thing. Okay, so they bring it back to the screen. After they bring it back to the screen, they do the dance that they see. Okay, so here's an example. So they go find a sock and they come back and they do the dance that they see on the screen. And I make it, competitive by saying, don't be the last person to get back to the screen. Then they'll go find a shoe and do the dance that they see on the screen. Then they'll go find a bear and do the dance that they see on the screen. And the last thing is a crayon. Go find a crayon and do the dance that they see on the screen. After our final fun, we end with a mindfulness activity. I'm just going to share with you a little bit of this activity. This is one of my favorite mindfulness activities. Inspired with each breath I rise, ayy, feel the fire inside, yeah, I'm inspired with each breath I rise, ayy, know the fire won't die, ayy, I'm inspired with each breath I rise, ayy, feel the fire inside, yeah, I'm inspired with each breath I rise, yeah, know the fire won't die. What's up, y'all? Just me, man. Edie bop bop, boy. Today, we're going to do a little mindfulness practice where we send out a whole lot of love to ourselves, to our loved ones, and to everybody in the whole world, all right? So, let's just get straight to it. Now, make sure, first and foremost, that you're sitting up nice and tall, with your shoulders relaxed and rolled down your back, all right? And if you're in a chair, you just put your feet flat on the floor. And if you're already seated on the floor, just cross your legs and crisscross applesauce, all right? The next thing you're gonna do, you gotta do something with these hands. So let's have your palms either facing up or down in your lap, all right? Now, let's start by moving our focus inside. And I'm gonna invite you to close your eyes, or you can focus on a spot on the floor right down in front of you without dropping your chin, okay? Now, I'm gonna keep my eyes open because I gotta keep a lookout what's going on in the room with you, okay? So just know that when you open your eyes, I'm there. Now get yourself comfortable as possible, all right? So you're relaxed in your body and awake in your mind. Y'all ready? All right, here we go. So let's start first with some breathing just so that we can like settle into this practice, okay? So breathing in, breathing out. Again, breathing in, breathing out. One more time, let's breathe in, breathing out. Y'all keep breathing in and out. And we're gonna get started here, sending our love. So you're gonna bring your hands to your heart, your eyes still closed. And let's start by saying some loving, kind things to ourselves first, all right? I'm gonna say some things out loud, and you can say them to yourself in your head or in a soft whisper, okay? So repeat after me. I am healthy. I am strong. I am loved. I am special. I am important. I love myself. I love myself to the fullest. I have a mind, and with that mind, I have power. So I'm gonna use it. So now let's take a mindful breath in, breathe out. And now we're gonna send some love to some others. Let's picture some folks in our minds that really mean a lot to us. People that we're grateful for, that we're thankful for, or maybe just people that may need some love today, all right? We're gonna send this love out to them. So send in your love, repeat after me. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you be strong. May you be loved. And may you know that you are important. May you know that you're special. Just notice how that made you feel, sending your love out.
Great job, y'all. Now let's take another mindful breath in, breathing in, breathing out. Now, we're going to send our love out together to everyone in the whole world, all right? So repeat after me. May the world be healthy. May the world be peaceful. May the world be calm. May the world be safe. May the world be mindful and full of love. And just notice how that makes you feel. Let's breathe in, breathe out. Now, before we close, let's take a moment and still just notice the kind, loving feelings that we've generated today together. And let's end with a little more kindness for ourselves. So keeping your eyes closed, repeat after me. It's okay to be awesome. I am awesome. It's okay to be great. I am great. When I work hard and set my mind to it, I can do it. I can be my best. I can do my best because I am my best. Great job. Now let's inhale our arms up overhead, full body stretch. And as you bring your hands down, you can go ahead and slowly open your eyes. Great job, y'all. Great job sending all that love. Now, go out there and keep showing love to yourself and to others, all right? Let's make this place a real loving place, all right? I'm proud of y'all, so make sure you're proud of yourselves. Let's get a fist bump dab on the count of 3, all right? 1, 2, 3, boom. Dab it out. Great job. I love y'all. I respect y'all. Please love and respect yourselves. Love and respect each other. And take care of your mind. And I'll see y'all again real soon, all right? Just me, man. Edie bop bop, boy.
So, and that video comes from Yo Mind, and it has several mindfulness videos. It's actually one of my favorite mindfulness videos. So, the last thing, what about students who can't attend Zoom? If they can't attend Zoom, I still have to provide asynchronous learning activities for them. So the same activities that I do during Zoom, I just put them in a Bitmoji classroom. Um, and students will just go and click on the photos of Mr. Morris, and the videos will pop up. So just as you saw, red light, green light, that's their warm up. Boom.
Green light.
And they have to, in order to receive credit for completing these activities, students have to send photos of themselves completing an activity. So here's a couple of photos of my students completing the activities. Also for my older students, I do a Google form, and it just allows me to keep up with who's completing what, and it allows them to enter their scores. So are there any questions? Well, once again, I'm Mike Morris. I am on Twitter at Mike Morris PE. My YouTube channel, if you type in Mike Morris PE on YouTube, all of the remote learning videos that I have created will come up. My website is www.mikemorrispe.com, and my email is michaelhowardmorris@gmail.com. Thank you guys for coming to my presentation. Have a great rest of your Saturday.